Welcome in, guys, to another episode of Juked by Daylight. Mike and Mitch here again for another frosty episode as we're entering into the Bone Chill event. How are you doing, Mitchell?
I'm doing great, dude. I'm doing great. I'm kind of excited actually.
Ooh, okay. Is that going to lead us into our first topic of news today?
Yeah, actually it is.
Take it away.
So, obviously everybody knows about Stranger Things in Dead by Daylight. Stranger Things officially left Dead by Daylight in 2021, giving fans a sour taste in their mouth. The beloved series had quite an impact on the game, including 2 survivors, a killer, and a map. While the killer and 2 survivors were still in the game, and they changed up certain perks to make sure it was not related to the series. They removed the map though. Obviously, some people hate the map, some people like the map, so like it's a back and forward thing, obviously. But like, then rumors came out of a return to Hawking's labs.
Ooh.
Where on the horizon and Stranger Things they had a lot of hype surrounding it.
Yeah.
Even other franchises like Fortnite were seeing crossovers, so everyone thought an eventual return was inevitable. Stranger Things Day came and went, no talk about Dead by Daylight crossover. And the secret game was actually a new VR game inside the Stranger Things universe.
Right.
Now, multiple leaks over the years have hinted towards a return of Hawkins, but a few of them have already been busted with dates or content. Some promised a drop during Q3, but so far none of them have come true. But other reliable leakers say that the data is true, but Behavior Interactive is still working on a licensing deal, and the content will be delayed until 2023. The hardest part of the rumor is the most reliable leaker has gone all in on this leak, confirming that Stranger Things will make a return. And this same leaker was correct on their Wesker leak, and has even been vouched for by Dead by Daylight Leaks, a reliable data miner. So either the content has been pushed back to line up more closely with the release of Season 5, or the leaker got this one wrong. Either way, we have more than a year until this new chapter could ever release.
Interesting. So are we looking at new characters or just a new map, do you think?
Well, I think it's probably gonna be like new skins. Like I think they're gonna like release like legendary skins, right? So that you have like still Demogorgon, but you can also get a Vecna.
Oh, yeah.
And probably like you still have Steve and Nancy, but and Jonathan.
Yeah.
But like that there come like multiple other skins, maybe like Eddie or something, or something like that. Like I don't think they're actually gonna release new characters, but maybe they are just bringing back the old map, or they are coming with a new map. Like it could be, or maybe they do both. They bring the old map back with a new map. You never know. It's still Dead by Daylight. Like they can still do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, so, okay, that's interesting. So with that then, what we're realistically looking at is potentially legendary skins and maybe a new version of Hawkins?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay. That's cool.
So,
That's
like
interesting.
it's still a big rumor, but we can still think about it for an entire year probably, so...
I think there was a YouTube video that I saw not too long ago where there was like, I think it was fan made, but it was like a potential leak of what the new Hawkins would look like. But again, I've not got confirmation on whether that's legit or not. But it looks good. So if it looks anything like the YouTube leak, I say with quotes, it could actually be quite interesting. But I do like the old Hawkins. I think we both enjoyed that map.
The old Hawkins is really good, and we need more inside maps. So like, it would be nice if they just bring it back. So
yeah, definitely. Okay, awesome. So I think that then, if that's all the news we've got, I think that leads us into our.
yeah, that's everything, dude.
Okay, that leads us.
I think that's a big thing though. Like a lot of people like Stranger
There's going to
Things.
be
So, like...
a lot of hype around that. I think most people like Stranger Things. Most people were gutted when you couldn't get the skins anymore. I mean, you can still get the characters if you go through like third-party sites like CD Keys, or if you pick the game up on a disc format from when Stranger Things was released, you can still get the characters, but you can't like buy them now through DVD. So yeah, I think a lot of people were upset about that. Well, I can't get the skins.
Yeah, exactly.
I got the characters through CD Keys because I bought them late, and yeah, I can't get the skins for them, so it's kind of annoying. So I'm just stuck with either the bloodied skins or their basic bitch skins. So it means I don't play them basically at all, if I'm honest. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, okay. So our character spotlight for this week, then moving on to the next segment, is the WRAITH. So basically, the WRAITH, or Philip Ojomo, which I didn't realize was his real name. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Is, as everybody knows, one of the 30 killers currently featured in Dead by Daylight. He was introduced as a member of the original killer trio that released with the game on 14th of June 2016. So he was one of the OGs back in 2016, along with Trapper and Hillbilly, right? I think they were the original three,
yes.
weren't they? The big three?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So we're going to delve a little bit into his lore, and then we're going to just give you a very, very, very quick overview. So Philip Ojomo came to this country without anything than hope for a new beginning. He was happy as he got offered a job at Auto Haven Wreckers, which, as everyone knows, is his map. A small scrapyard where bribed cops turned a blind eye for somewhat shady business that took place. Now, the fact that his lore, I'm just going to digress slightly here, says a small scrapyard. The Auto Haven maps are not small maps by any stretch of the imagination, right?
Decently sized maps.
I mean, that's kind of weird that the lore lies to your face. It's not a small scrapyard, but okay. I'll carry on. Rafe didn't care. He had seen criminal activity up close in his homeland, and as long as he didn't get involved, he let things be. He just fixed his cars, handled the crusher, something he did really well, by the way, and the car went in, and a small metallic cube came out. It was not until one gloomy day that he, just by accident, saw some blood coming from one of the uncrushed cars. As he opened the trunk, he found a young man gagged and with tied hands, with panic-filled eyes. Ojomo freed the man, who managed to run 10 feet before Ojomo's boss stopped him and slit his throat. As Ojomo demanded answers, he got explained to him that he'd been nothing more than a simple executioner, as more or less every car had a soul in them, as this was a service the scrapyard provided to certain clients. Ojomo snapped and went ballistic. He threw his boss in the crusher and let it slowly compress. As the head stuck out, Ojomo grabbed it and pulled head and spine out of the body, and then he left and was never seen again. So that's one of the kind of smaller laws with DBD. Some of the older killers literally only have like a couple of paragraphs. But interestingly enough, I don't think I've ever read that before, and I didn't realize that his weapon of choice is actually the head and spine of his boss. Yeah, I don't think I ever actually knew that before, so that's kind of interesting. I think he does have a slightly longer extended lore somewhere else, but this is the one straight from DBD and DBD fandom, so that's kind of interesting. But he's got 3 unique perks, which is actually quite funny because I did a video on this literally today. That's strange. So his 3 unique perks are Predator, Bloodhound, Shadowborn. Predator, these are all useless perks, by the way. I'm just going to preface that immediately. But Predator basically makes the scratch marks left by survivors spawn slightly, moderately, or considerably closer together, depending on what tier you have the perk. Bloodhound makes pools of blood shown in bright red and can be tracked for 2, 3, 4 seconds longer, depending on the tier of perk. And Shadowborn, it basically increases your field of view by 9, 12, and 15 degrees. The only perk out of these three that I ever see get used is Shadowborn, and that's normally on Blights. If that. But that's the only time I see that perk being used. I guess unless someone's doing the Adept with WRAITH, but I think that's kind of a given. But these three perks are absolutely trash. Absolutely trash. I think even 0 out of 10 would be adequate for all three. Maybe 1 out of 10 for Shadowborn. It helps Blights. I don't know. What do you think, Mitchell?
Honestly, I think I kind of agree on that. Like, I would say for all three, 0 out of 10. Like, you see Shadowborn like 1 in like 1,000 games.
Yeah.
But like, it's not a good perk in general. So like, I don't know why they use it. Like, maybe they want to try some fancy stuff or something. I don't know. But like, honestly, all those perks are really bad and kind of need an update. Honestly.
I think it sort of shows you how far DVDs come, because these were like, what, 2 or 3 of the original killer lineup perks. So you had these. The Trapper perks are pretty crap as well. And then you had Hillbilly, and I think really Enduring and Tinkerer are probably the only good perks he had. So out of 3 characters, you maybe had 2 good teachables out of 9 perks. That's kind of bad.
Yeah, that's not the best numbers you wanna hear.
But there you go. So yeah, that's our spotlight for the day. As I said, his lore is very, very short. I'm sure as we get through to the newer characters in the game, that there will be slightly longer lores. But yes, using his Wailing Bell to render himself invisible, the Wraith tracks his prey and strikes with little warning. Upon hearing the bell's fateful chime, survivors must think fast or suffer the consequences. A hit-and-run specialist, the Wraith is adept at keeping everybody injured. Yeah, I think that's everything, really. That's the overview, that's the lore, and that's the perks. So I think that concludes our character spotlight for today. But you said you had some questions for us, Mitchell, which I'm very excited about.
Yes, I do. So this is a very interesting one. People who know me are already going to know the answer on the first part, at least.
Okay.
So the first question we have: if you could delete 1 killer and 1 survivor, which one? With this question came a little joke. So you have the question by itself, and then the joke was next to it. Why would it be Nia? Question mark. So I think that's like aiming towards like that most Nias are kind of toxic. So
yeah, sure, I get that.
So like the killer I would delete straight up, no doubt about it. Deathslinger, gone. Get him out of here. Like, I hate that killer with a passion.
Can we dive deep into that? Actually, I want to. I think you've told me before, but it was probably when we first met, which was a couple of years ago. Why is it that you hate Deathslinger so much? Please tell me and anyone listening why that is.
Like, everybody knows how ridiculous the hitbox of Huntress is, right?
Yeah, sure.
Deathslinger has the same hitbox. Like, Deathslinger shoots me through fucking rocks, through like buildings, like walls. Like, it's ridiculous, dude. Like, honestly, like, nah, dude. Like, just nah. That's not happening.
So you're saying his power's bullshit, basically?
Yeah, dude. Like, it's insane. Like, I think a couple days back I saw a video on YouTube where somebody was like playing against a Deathslinger, and like he even played it in slow motion, and like he was fully around the corner, like fully, and you see like the harpoon like literally just following the building's wall, right?
Yeah.
And at the end, it goes around the corner and hits the survivor. What do you mean, bro?
That's like curving bullets.
Stuff happens to me, and then like that's why Deathslinger is my kryptonite when I play Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
I don't know how to look against that guy, because every time if I think I know, he shoots me through something. So then I'm like, okay, well, what should I have done there? Like I'm around the corner and he still hits me. Like that, I don't get it.
It's like he's curving bullets in that film
Yeah,
Wanted.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, no, that makes sense. I get that. I mean, I guess luckily for you, they nerfed the shit out of him, right? So he doesn't have the quick shooting anymore. He's slower. His terror radius is shit. Like
The only
they kind
thing
of
they
fucked him,
changed
right?
was his terror radius and like the quick draw and stuff.
Oh, was he already slow? He was slow
His
before.
movement speed was always the same
Oh,
already.
I didn't remember that. I couldn't remember if he was normal speed or slow. I just remember his terror radius. I think I thought they slowed him down because of his terror radius, because people run away now before you get up close, whereas before you could get quite close and quick scope. So that's probably confused me with the speed. So yeah, he's always been slow, right? That's part of his lore. He fucked his leg up or something. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes
And
sense.
then the survivor, like obviously I'm not gonna pick a Nia because they are toxic. The survivor I would delete is Ace.
Okay. Why is that?
Because if you see an Ace, like either they are really bad or they are really good. There's no in between.
I might be the in-between ace player, to be fair.
Ace is the most quiet survivor out of every single survivor. Like it's almost if he has built-in iron will. It's ridiculous. And then if you crouch, that works on every single survivor, you get a little bit more silent than if you stand up.
Okay.
So if you do that with Ace, like you can literally lose him because he crouched.
Right.
Like what the fuck do you mean, bro? And that's why Behavior also said they are gonna look into that stuff so that like every single survivor makes equal sounds instead of
they
like
should do
you
that,
have some survivors that are really loud, some are really quiet, and then you have the in-betweens. They are gonna make it all even and that everybody makes the same amount of sound when they are injured.
Yeah, they definitely need to do that because I play Ash mainly, and his sounds give him away 95% of the time. Like, it's so annoying. And now that Iron Will's kind of a little bit shit, it's like really hard to try and make him stealthy. It's like almost impossible. Exactly. So I could probably get that. I think for my answer to the question, I think everyone knows my killer as well that I would get rid of. I would completely get rid of Legion. And I can't stand playing as him or her. I can't stand playing against them. It's like stab men, stab men, stab men, stab, and it's just so boring. And the games go on for so long, and it actually annoys me more that it's a boring character because the concept is really good, and the skins that the character gets is really good, and how the character looks is really good. It's just the playstyle is just so annoying. It's like Plague but less effective. Stab men, stab men, stab men. I just can't. Yeah. I can't bring myself to do it as the killer, and I can't bring myself to do it as survivor. Like I want to DC. It's the one character that makes me want to DC. I would rather play Nurse on repeat for like an hour than play Legion once in that hour. Honestly, like I get it. Nurse is broken. I get it. I wouldn't remove her from the game though because she's kind of like. I don't know, she's like the queen of DBD almost in the killer category, right? She's been there forever. She's always been broken. It's fine. But she's not as annoying to play against, I don't think, as Legion. I think Legion's boring.
Well, funny enough, they changed the nerfs though. Like throughout the years, she got changed quite a bit. And like even though she is really, really strong, like that's the beauty of Nurse. Like she goes against like every basic thing about Dead by Daylight, and that's just looping around, dropping a pallet, looping around, and then dodge maybe an attack or something if it likes Pyramid Head or something like that. But like she just ignores walls, pallets, windows, all that kind of stuff. She just ignores it. So you need to like actually think while you're looping.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to literally start looping differently than you loop like against like a Baba or Pyramid Head or whatsoever. So like you actually need to use your brain, and you kind of don't want to drop a pallet or something, right? So you just want to play with like line of sight and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And with Legion, I just like, I'm going to get stabbed, and then I'm going to mend, and then I'm going to do that on repeat for the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, because these games go
Or
on
you
forever.
get like stabbed and you need to mend, and he just gets out of his power and he's committing to you. Your screen gets dark AF. And
Oh yeah, it's all annoying, and it annoys me more, as I said, because I actually like the character design. I like the concept of the character. It's just the playstyle. It's just terrible. Like Plague's annoying as well, but Plague's actually more fun to go against because you've got her second tier of power. So you're not just sick and injured like you would be injured with Legion. She's got like the whole other side, which is the Corrupt Purge, which can absolutely decimate teams if you play badly. That adds like a scare element to the game. Whereas Legion, you hear him come and you're like, oh great, I get to mend again. Fantastic. I heckin' love mending, you know? Like it's crazy.
And then like that's the sad part of it. Like the killer itself, like it's a pretty decent killer, like just how they made it and how they designed it, right? But like then they reworked him a little bit, and like they gave him like his fifth hit, and then you go instantly down and stuff like that. But like you need to work so hard for it to actually get that, because if survivors just split off, it's impossible to get it.
Yeah.
Like you don't see that on a regular.
And you compare that to like Myers and Ghostface, who could just stand there looking at you and then they can insta down you, or Bubba, who can just use his actual power and insta down you. Like Legion's just so weak and pathetic, and they gave him the most pathetic playstyle and power that exists, I think, in DBD, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but it is what it is, right? Like maybe in the future they're gonna change him again. You never know. Like,
and I mean, Survivor that I would remove. This will probably be a shock to everybody because I've only literally just thought of who this is and why. I would get rid of Yun Jin. And do you want to know why?
Okay, well, let's hear it, Mike. Obviously, I want to know why. Like, it's an interesting pick.
I would get rid of her because I always fucking call her Yui because I think she's Yui. And it pisses me off that I can't get it into my head that she's Yun Jin and Yui is Yui. And I'm like, it's the same character. The names are too similar. I fucking hate it. And I do it all the time. I literally did a video not long ago on YouTube and I had to correct myself 3 times on the video with like text popping up saying I mean Yun Jin, and in the end I just gave up. I did it once at the beginning and then I just stopped doing it. I was like, ah, fuck it, I really don't care. Yui, Yun Jin. I always think that it's Yui and it's annoying, and I want to take that annoyance out of the game. So that's why I would remove Yun Jin. I learnt Yui's name first. It's too similar. It's not like you've got a character called Bill and a character called Will. Is it? You know? Like, stop. Why are the names so similar? Change the name. Give her a different name. Call her, like, Margaret or something. I don't fucking know. Just not Yui and Yun Jin. Like, just anything, dude. Just anything different. Why has it got to be so similar? Why have we got to have 2 characters with, like, Y at the beginning of their name? It's so bad. Like, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. So, yeah, Yun Jin would get the boot just because it annoys me personally that I get the name wrong. But that's the only one I could think of I'd get rid of, to be honest. None of the other characters really bother me on the Survivor side. I think it's just because they're all reskins of each other anyway. They all do the same shit. Apart from, as you said, with Ace, with the sound. There isn't really a reason I'd want to get rid of any of them, I don't think. I would like more Survivors and better Survivors. But, actually, if I had to give another reason that wasn't so pathetic for somebody else, it would be Yoichi. Because of his fucking stupid yellow coat angers me so much when I'm playing as him or against him. Like, fuck off with your yellow jacket. Honestly, that yellow jacket is just infuriating. I don't know. It just triggers me. I see that yellow jacket and I'm like, oh, fuck you, dude. Like, even if I'm playing as him, I'm like, fuck you. Like, you and your stupid yellow fucking raincoat. It's so obvious to see in the game. Like, I hate it so much.
Instead of like the red color, you have it against the yellow color.
Yeah, I'm literally like, so I hate Yun Jin because of her name and I hate Yoichi because of his fucking coat. Maybe if they gave him like a decent skin, because his fucking skins are fucking awful. I thought Bill had bad choice in skins, but yeah, Yoichi's probably got the worst skins in the game.
I know somebody else who had bad skins, but yeah.
Who's that? Claudette, is
I'm
it?
still waiting if you're any Pikachu Claudette skin. Still
Claudette.
waiting.
Claudette gets no love from the devs, right? It's kind of funny.
Nah, it's
I don't
actually
know
insane,
why.
dude.
And she's one of the OGs.
Yeah, dude. She's one of like funny enough though, like even though she is one of the OGs, a shocker maybe for some people, she was white
Oh yeah, that's
at
correct.
first.
Yeah.
She was white at first, and they changed it to being black when they released the game.
Yeah, they did. Wasn't that for like was that for ethnic reasons because they didn't have enough of a different mix of people in the game? So they only had white survivors, right, at that time.
I never dove into that though.
No. I think they only had white survivors up to that point, and they were like, "Oh shit, we probably need to mix up the races a little bit." But yeah, I think she was the first.
Baby.
She was the first black survivor, right?
Yeah, she was.
Oh, power to Claudette then. But yeah, I guess she was originally meant to be white. You can see the images on Google. She actually looks really weird, but I guess that's because we all know her as a black lady, rather than a white lady. Yes. But yeah, the design pictures for her are incredibly weird, as a different mixed race. But they probably need more black characters, right? I would say actually.
I think they only have Claudette and
Adam. Yeah, so they've only got 2 black characters. Well, I guess, they got 2 killers, though, haven't they? Because WRAITH, who's our character spotlight of the week, he's actually black. And the Doctor is actually black, which I didn't realise until early this year when I was reading some of his lore.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So because he was part of the package with Fang, I think a lot of people assumed he was, like, Asian. But he isn't. He's actually black, which I didn't know. Because he's got quite like a burnt skin look. I think it's hard. But if you look at him now with that information in mind, you can see it now, which is kind of weird. But yeah, so they've got 2. I think Hag was meant to be black as well, if I'm correct. I think her background. I can't remember her lore. Well, I'll probably have to wait until we get to her character spotlight. But yeah, I think they definitely need to increase that side of things with the survivors. Definitely mix it up.
Well, like then I want to go back in time with like how the game would look like. Like back in the day, the game was way more darker than it is now.
That's true.
And then like I was always Claudette. Yes. And I was powerful back in the day. I could literally stand in front of a wall and you could not see me unless you were like from the side, and then you obviously see like something that's not supposed to be there. And then, but if you stood like literally in front of me, I was invisible. Like I was literally one with the wall.
Well, that's why you like Dead Dog, right?
No, that dog I love because of the bushes.
Yeah.
Like, I can literally hide, but that's still a thing. I can literally hide in every single bush almost, and I disappear entirely. But like on like the Macmillan walls, like they were like the same color as Claudette's P3 skin from back in the day. P6 now, but. Funny enough, they nerfed her skin and they brightened up the game a little bit. Yeah. So it's not actually the same anymore, but back in the day it was. So I literally could stand in front of a rock or just a wall and you didn't see me at all.
Yeah, it's crazy how much the game's brightened up since like 2016.
Yeah, it's insane. I can still try and like blend sometimes, but like most of the time the killer is already chasing me, so it's not really working at that point anymore.
Did we have a second question, or was it just the one this week?
No, we have a second question as well.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna sit for this one. If you could design a new killer, what team and kind of survivor would you like to see in the game?
Okay, so what new killer would I have and survivor with them, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm a big fan of horror, as I think most people know. I think if you play DVD, you've got to be a fan of horror to some degree. I really like the fan-made Pennywise that they did on YouTube, which I think most people have seen. I even posted it on my TikTok, which I don't use. But yeah, there was a Pennywise fan fiction made. It came with like a sewer map, which was really cool. And the character itself was cool, and he had these like balloon powers. Like they figured out everything, like how to make him in the game. And I just thought it was a really cool concept. He was almost like a hag, but the balloons could like move a bit like the patrolling system of the night. And if a survivor interacted with them, it notified Pennywise that you were there, and then he could come and sort of like teleport there almost. So it was kind of interesting. But yeah, that looked good. And then I think you've got the whole host of characters from the It series. So I think I would probably go with that first. That would be my first point of contention to add to the game. I think they need... I know they've already got a clown, but they had... Let's be realistic. They had the clown when they couldn't get Pennywise because of the license. Just like they had Trapper because they couldn't get the license for Jason Voorhees, and they had Hillbilly because they couldn't get the license for Bubba originally. So I don't think it hurts to have two of similar characters because they've got Hillbilly and Bubba. Exactly. So I don't see them having another clown being a problem. But yeah, I'd probably go with that. I think Pennywise, unless the question is what killer would I actually design? Like, am I making like an original character? Because I took that as like, what character would I like to see in DBD? But I think the question might have actually been, what would I design?
The first part of the question, if you could design a new killer, so you are making one.
Oh, okay. I thought I'd got the question wrong.
What team? But like that could still be a thing. Like even though like you saw it somewhere, like you need to get some stuff somewhere, right? So
yeah, for some reason my head interpreted that as what killer would I like to see in the game. I do actually have an answer for that question. I don't want to hog the whole answer to this, but if I was to design a character, there was rumors before the night was even a twinkle in Behavior's eye that the next killer was going to be a spider killer. And I am terrified. I mean, like proper arachnophobia. I'm terrified of spiders. Like, I hate them with a passion. And I think something like that would play on a lot of people's real life fears and could actually be a scary killer. And we could sort of try and edge the game back into the horror sphere, because it's not really scary now, right? You might get jump scared every now and again, you know, by like a stealth killer, but it's not a scary game. So to actually have a killer that's not, it doesn't have to be a spider, but I think something that moves like that with like the legs, they could proper make it like, I don't know, something spider-esque, I think, would be really creepy. If I saw that crawling around towards me with like multiple legs, that would scare the fuck out of me, I think, as a survivor. So, and I think other people would have the same reaction. So I think some sort of like spider killer would be good. I don't really understand what their power would be. Maybe it would be like some sort of like web slowdown. Like they shoot you with a web.
Something like Freddy's blood bottles or something, right? If you like walk through them, that you get like
yeah. But I think it would be really cool if you could give them like the ability to crawl up walls and stuff, so they're not traditionally coming at you walking or running. They could be maybe coming from a slightly different angle. So say like you were on Midwich, they've got a power maybe where they can temporarily not walk on the ground. So maybe they can walk along the wall or maybe even the ceiling. So if we were playing like an indoor map, could you imagine like the jump scares that would come from that if they were like just to drop down from the ceiling right next to you? I think that would be really scary. I don't know how they do it. It'd have to be like a limited time thing. You know, like Oni collects blood orbs. He could use his running power and his smash for a limited period of time. I think if you did something like that, you could give them an initial slowdown, because Freddy's blood puddles are kind of useless. They're only good on small loops. So give the spider killer like a slowdown, a web slowdown, and then its main power after a certain, you know, maybe it needs to collect blood again. It can temporarily go undetectable, and it can traverse the map in unique ways. So, like, if you're on RPD, like, the main ceiling in that main room is really high, dude. You wouldn't fucking see that coming. And then it just drops down on one of the gens.
Like, you're not locking up that high.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that would be really, really, really cool. But I don't know. Maybe it could set up webs if that power wasn't feasible in the game, because there are some games that don't have, like, there's a lot of open maps, so that probably wouldn't work. But maybe you could have another power where it can shoot webs up high, like spider webs, and then he could teleport to the spider webs and then drop down. So you could set them above gens, maybe, and then you'd be getting jump scares all over the place.
Like I know it's your idea, right?
Yeah.
Like I was also like, because you were like saying all the things, I was like thinking as well. But what if you can lay like eggs as a spider, right? Like, and then they when they like fully grown, like they hatch a little spider, and like it can injure you and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, like spider traps, like egg traps. You
Yeah.
set them off and these spiders just attack you, sort of thing. Yeah, that
So
could be
like
really
you
good.
can obviously disarm it and like get rid of the egg, but like then you need to spend time to do it.
Yes, I
So
like
like
that.
if you
I like
place your
that.
egg smartly, then
Yeah, that'd be really cool. That's kind of like a mixture of Trapper and Hag, because it would injure
yeah, with
you.
like the
But
nemesis zombies and
yeah,
like
but
the
with the
Knight's Guard.
AI, yeah, I like that. Yeah, that could be really cool. So I think there's a few options I think we've covered there that a spider killer could easily utilize. And I think that it would just be fear. Like, it would be pure fear, because spiders in general, most people don't like them, right? You get the few that have like pet
Yeah.
tarantulas or whatever, but most people on the whole don't like them. So there's that anyway, and then you've got the other extreme, which is people that hate them and are even terrified of them. So to actually have something like that in the game, I think would bring it back to the sort of horror base that it used to be. But what killer would you design, or have I stolen your idea by accident?
No. Like I was thinking in like in between like two things.
Okay,
One thing was like a werewolf kind of killer.
nice, I like it.
Or I was thinking, and I already have a name as well. I was thinking about, and then obviously the name would be the Mimic. I was thinking about a Mimic killer.
Okay.
So that you actually can change into a survivor.
Yay, yes, I love that idea.
Because, like, obviously you said it as well, like, the game is not that scary anymore, but if you see a survivor coming towards you, you're not even gonna move. You're like, oh, that's fine, dude, and he can help me with the gen, and then suddenly it becomes the killer again. Like, imagine the jump scares from that, dude. Like, you're gonna be scared of fuck, dude. You're gonna have so many trust issues
It's really funny
because you
because
never know if it's a real survivor or not. So like, that could be a really good thing, honestly.
they have
So
that.
obviously,
They have that in Prop Night, by the way. They actually have a killer that does that, and he's like OP. Like, it's insane because
yeah,
no
I
one
never played
knows.
Fortnite though,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
yeah. No, it's just interesting because they have that, and it's literally OP. And I'm just thinking, in the world of DVD, that would be absolutely crazy. But again, that would bring the horror
that would
thing
be
back.
sick though.
That would be so good. Yeah, the Mimic, I like that.
And then like, yeah, obviously the power is that killer can transform into a survivor, but that's gonna be for a certain duration of time, not like the entire time, obviously.
And if you have a Mimic though as well, you could have him look like a mime. You know, like the old mime artists.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're kind of clown-esque. They're kind of creepy looking. But then that could be like their human form or the killer form. And then they obviously change into, I don't know, Steve or David for a little period of time. And they can jump scare, obviously. And that'd be so good for grabs. That would make grabs off gens of
that would
things.
be sick, mate. Because like obviously, if you transform in like a survivor, you lose your tear radius, so you're undetectable. So that would be a really good thing.
Yeah, I like that.
And I
I
think
like that.
like obviously, and you need like a map with it as well. Like so, like I would say like a circus tent instead of like just a circus where you have clown and then like the entire building, and no, just like a full circus tent and stuff like that. Like those things are insanely big, so you can do a lot of stuff. Like an upstairs bit, like a downstairs bit, like yeah.
That'd be really cool. I like both of those ideas, actually. So, Behaviour are listening. They should literally hire us as part of their creative team.
And like obviously, like what kind of survivor would you like to see? Like the survivors are just like a reskin, so like the survivors are always gonna be the same thing, honestly. So like survivors don't really matter that much.
I actually do
In
have an
my
answer for
opinion.
this, though. I do actually. There is something I've been wanting to see in the Survivor realm for quite a while that they don't have yet. It's an original idea. You want to hear it?
Okay, go first.
Okay. This is for all my homies out there. I want to see a fucking fat survivor, please. Please, behavior. Stop body shaming us thickies, okay? And give us what we want. We want a chunky but funky survivor. Alright? We don't have any. They're all in really good shape. All the females are really hot. All the males look like they probably have 6-packs underneath their outfits. Like, can we just get a thickie, please? Like, a fatty. I want a fatty in the game. That's what I want. Male or female, I don't care. Just give me a chubber. I need a chubby. Put me in the game. Fuck it. Just Mikey. There needs to be a Michael in the Survivor side. Just call him Mikey. Make him look like the guy from Recess called Mikey. That'll do. I'll have a little chunky Mikey playing. That's all I want. They're all in really good shape, dude. Half of the males are topless now, and half the females, they have like extra boob jiggles depending on what outfit they're wearing. It's kind of crazy. Just give us a chunky monkey. Honestly, that's all I want. That's all I want.
Like I have a request as well then, like for like a survivor.
Okay.
So like all the male characters are really tall, right?
Yes.
And like the females are kind of smaller.
Mm-hmm.
I want a midget.
Whoa. Whoa.
I want a midget character in Dead by Daylight.
I don't know with how the game works and also the political correctness of that, but I don't know how that would work in terms of like loops and stuff. They would be far too short for the game mechanics to work effectively.
Like, look at her. Like, she is small enough, right? Like, she is so tiny.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
You can't see her over certain loops, even though the loops are not even that high. You don't see her.
And Omri
I
as
need
well.
a survivor like that. Like, that would be so funny.
Mate, I don't know if is that the correct political term. Is midget the correct term? I don't want to offend anybody, but
dude, like I'm not offending anybody with this. Come on now, like there's no harm.
No, I just want to use the correct term, like small. Is small person? Is that the correct term? I don't know.
Yeah, we can also say small person. Okay, small person. Like,
but then I guess like, yeah, I don't know. The game mechanics would be kind of fucked. I guess fat people would be as well though, because like imagine if you were vaulting through a window or tried to fit through a gap that say like near fit through, but then you can't fit through because you're chubby Mikey. And they get fat shamed because we're getting fat shamed already, right? With the map glitches that are going on. So imagine if the chunkier player couldn't fit through, or he couldn't fit in a locker. He tries to jump in a locker and he doesn't fit. I was just like, yeah, I don't know if the game mechanics can handle.
Yeah, and then the killer needs to like lift that survivor up, right? Just imagine like seeing a fat person. He can't fit in a locker. He can't fit in a locker, right? And then the hack needs to carry that person.
They can't pick him up because he's too big. He might be OP. He might be OP. I don't know.
might be broken. They have getting bleed out every single game.
Imagine if they had to change all the Moris because the character's too heavy. So like Myers doesn't pick him up anymore. He just like stabs him in the face or something. It's just too heavy to carry. Yeah, I don't know. I think they do need to be more inclusive. I think, although we're joking around a little bit, I think that. Yeah, as I said, all the survivors seem to be like good-looking characters, and I get it. I guess no one wants to play as an ugly person, but I think for inclusivity, as we already spoke about, obviously they've only got 2 black characters. I think we need to include different body types.
No, they have 3. They have 3.
Oh, they have 3. Who was the? Who was the third one?
Tap and.
Tap. Oh yeah, I forgot about Tap. Yeah, Detective Tap. But yeah, I think they need. I think they just need more of everything. Just include everyone, different backgrounds. Do they have an English survivor? They're all American, right? Or like from a different country altogether. They don't have a British character, I don't think. Is David British? So. David's not British, is he? I don't think.
I'm not sure.
Are they all American? I think David might be the closest one to being British. Let me look that up because I was just thinking. I don't know if they've actually got a British character in DVD. But then I was like, maybe David is. I know he's like, wasn't he meant to play like rugby or something? Oh, he is. He is. So he's the only English one.
Okay.
David's the only English survivor. So
that means That means we kind of
Dutchies?
need a Dutch.
Exactly. This is where I'm going.
Survivor, right?
This is where I'm going. So yeah, they need more nationalities. They need body sizes. They need races. I think they just need to hit the diversity quota behavior. Come on, tick all these
Yeah,
boxes.
but I really like a small guy. Like that would be funny AF in like Dead by Daylight. Like all the females are already small, like most of them, and then like a small guy as well. That would be funny AF. Like it makes sense as well because like the mimic comes like from like a circus. Like in the circus you
Oh
have like
yeah,
all
I'm with
kinds
you.
of different things. So like
Yeah, I'm with you.
that would make sense as well.
Yeah, that does make sense actually.
Like
Yeah.
team wise, it like fits perfectly.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that. I don't know who I would have for the spider killer though, to be honest. Maybe like a scientist or something. Like they create them in a lab by accident. Because we don't really have like any doctors or anything, I don't think. I think is Felix the closest to a doctor? No, he's an architect, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, and then we got Claudette, she's a botanist, right? So she's a doctor of plants. But yeah, like maybe like a science guy, I think maybe would be kind of cool. Or female. It doesn't have to be guy. But like maybe they created the spider creature in like a lab somewhere by accident and then it like murdered everybody. Yeah, they were the person that created it and they're on like the quest to kill it off sort of thing. Or even funnier, if we're going to go down a funny route rather than a more serious lore, you could have like an exterminator. Like, you know,
oh my god, yeah.
I'm thinking like Men in Black, you know, like with the cockroach van, but like it's a spider exterminator, pest control. Like they could have like a hat and they could be fat. That would be funny, actually. A fat guy. And he's like, I'm an exterminator. Yeah, so something like that. Something like that, I think would be
so you have
funny.
like a terrifying side with like a funny side together, so it makes sense. Like,
it balances it out. Nice. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. But that was a really good question. Who gave us that question?
Both questions were from our good friend Tiago.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Tiago. That was really good. That was really good, actually. That's food for thought. But yeah, obviously, guys, let us know in the comments if you've got any ideas, because we'd love to talk about them on the next episode for sure. But I kind of like our answers, to be fair. I'm not being biased because it's us, but I think our answers are pretty fucking solid, to be fair, dude.
Yeah, I like it. I'm kind of excited, dude. Like, I know they're not in the game,
but... Behavior are going to give us a call, and they're going to be like, look, listen, we listened to your world-famous podcasts, all right? We know who you guys are, and we heard your ideas, and we want the copyright on them. So come work for us. And then we'll be like, we'll think about it, behavior. We'll think about it. Just add a couple of zeros to the contract, and we'll think about it, guys. We'll think about it. But yeah, I did have a question that was given to me from the Great Summoned Healer, and we kind of already discussed it though, so we'll just go over it briefly. But his question was, without cheating, can you name all 4 members of Legion? Who I obviously love Legion, as you heard earlier. But we only named 3. We could only name 3. Yeah. We actually forgot one. So we got Joey, Frank, and Susie. But we kind of forgot who the 4th one was, and we had to look it up. So Julie was number 4, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So it looks like Julie gets no love from us. We only remember the other 3. But yeah, so there you go. So we had 3 questions this week. That was nice. That was a nice segment.
That was a nice one for a change, you know? So everybody that's listening, please make sure, if you are listening anyways, you can think about a question. Does it need to be that related? Just saying.
Yeah, feel free to drop them in our DMs if you want to whisper on Twitch. If you want to drop them in the comments, just let us know if you've got questions, or if you just got any comments on the stuff we've discussed. If you've come up with any ideas, we like those as well. We'll feature them in the Q&As. Any sort of good comments that we receive, we will definitely feature them. But are we on to guides now? Is that Q&A's done? Are we on guides right now?
Yeah, that's Q&A done. Like, I don't have any more questions. I don't think you have either. So then we are gonna go to our guides of the week.
Let's go.
I love this show, dude. This is so fun.
What you got for us this week?
Okay, I got for this week I got how to fix the toxicity. So this is a really interesting one because Obviously, a lot of people have like a different mindset about what's toxic and what's not. So that it's always a really spicy topic. Bored of face campers and booty dancers? Get rid of them in 3 easy steps. Step 1, don't be toxic. Obviously. Step 2, jokes aside, toxicity breeds toxicity. The core reason this game is attractive to so many players is the adrenaline dopamine rush. It's easy to act toxic when you're high on those two hormones. But think about it in the long term. If you act toxic because of a sweet adrenaline rush, your opponent will learn to be toxic as well. And the next time you meet, the game won't be as satisfying. And it's a chain reaction. You bully a baby huntress, and she becomes toxic to compensate the frustration. When she sees you in the lobby next time, she brings eerie hatchets. Then she discovers Nurse and bullies her survivors. They bully more killers that will use you as a straw man to compensate their frustrations. So what can you do? Be decent and show them that it's a damn game with your actions. It's a baby killer? Question mark. Do gents leave without booty dancing and bullying? Playing against baby survivors and they're getting demolished? Give the last one the hatch to show your good manners. Of course, if they didn't booty dance. Honestly, then just kill them if they do. Someone doesn't have much skill as you have. Win without being a toxic brat about it. Believe me or not, but it's possible to play the game without intentionally annoying the other side, aka taking the game hostage as a killer, face camping, booty dancing, flashlight spamming, abusing the game mechanics. It's all possible. And then we have step number 3. Be a decent sportsman even if you feel like you'll be the first one. Someone has to start. Conclusion: it's not easy to get rid of toxic behavior in this player base, but next time you encounter players who aren't as experienced as you, think about the fact you don't have to be toxic. And you can only be toxic if you're the stronger one. I know what I'm talking about. How many times I've encountered players I knew were dripping with toxicity just to unleash my red Morris and Iriadons. The tables have flipped and their toxicity was now entertaining. So that's honestly, I think some truth in it as well there. It's not just like funs and giggles, like there's some truth in there as well.
There is honestly. Actually. Yeah, there is. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? I think it's action, reaction leads to more actions and more reactions. But I think if everyone just takes a back seat and goes, this is just a game, then everyone would be a lot better off. But people take stuff personally in this game, and they don't just say GGs and move on. And that's something that I saw earlier, actually, when I was browsing the YouTubes. True Talent had a funny video that he'd put up with a thumbnail that said illegal, and it said, oh, I didn't think about their fun. And it's like, that seems to be more and more of a common theme right now. You probably see this because you play Killer as well. But the amount of survivors that are like, oh, that wasn't fun. And it's like, if you're playing as Killer or Survivor, are you thinking or worried, or do you even care about the other side having fun? No. You're only worried about yourself having fun because it's you playing the game. You couldn't give a flying fuck if anybody else has any fun. That's not the point. That's not the point of playing. You don't play a game for the other side to have fun. You just don't. Like, if they don't have fun, that's on them.
Yeah, it's like a versus game, right? So it doesn't make any sense as well. So like, if you play as Survivor, you're not gonna keep in mind that, oh wait, we need to play like the killer needs to have fun as well. No, you wanna fucking destroy that killer.
Exactly, yeah.
You're like, in this meta, in that Padella right now, is literally a generous meta.
Yeah. But I mean,
So
we live in this generation now, and this bleeds into real life. That we live in a generation where you get participation medals just for taking part. So there's kind of no winners or losers anymore, and I think that generation is in itself toxic because they don't like to lose, because they're like, well, I want my participation medal. Well, no, this is a versus game, as you rightly said. There is no participation medal. I guess the only participation medal you get is blood points. And it's like you either win
yeah,
or
they
you
don't
lose.
know
That's
how
it.
it feels.
Yeah, they don't know.
Like they
They don't
don't
know
know
how
how it
to
feels to
lose.
lose.
Yeah, and it's a problem. Like all they need to do is put GGs and move the fuck on. But a lot of these people
Yeah, or
clearly
just
never
say
grew up that
nothing
way.
and you move on. Like you don't need to say anything, but
They've
like
clearly never had their arse handed to them in a game of Monopoly by any of their family members. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, honestly. It's like they've never played board games. They've literally only played online games, and they hate losing. And at school, everyone gets a medal just for turning up. It's like, that's not the real world, and they need to learn how to lose. And they need to learn how to win as well. There's a lot of sore winners out there, especially in the Survivor side. Like, when they win, they're like, oh, yeah, GG easy. And it's like, there's no need to... You won. Like, why are you now being an asshole? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like... I don't know. I really don't
I'm
know.
gonna be totally honest. Like I sometimes do it.
I
Saying
have,
GG easy,
ironically, I always go, I'm
but
joking afterwards, but
when I do it, it's because the other side did something toxic towards me. Like I don't
yeah.
do it like
Yeah,
out of
yeah, yeah.
myself.
No.
Like what we both said, it's action reaction. So they act like a certain way, and that's toxic in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I will act toxic back.
Yeah. How you play in the game and how you act after the game are like... they're almost two separate entities. Like, I play like an absolute dick at the moment because we're doing that one perk challenge. So my killer games are, and yours are probably very similar, very sweaty. I'm tunneling a lot more than I normally would. I'm camping a lot more than I normally would because I'm taking the challenge seriously and I'm trying to win. But people can't seem to separate that. When I do GGs at the end, I generally mean like good game. Like, I'm going to move on. And then a lot of people are really spicy and salty about it. And it's like, look, just because I'm a dickhead in the game doesn't mean I'm a dickhead outside of the game. But as soon as you start typing things, that's when it's real world. If you're typing messages to people, that's a real world thing. You're actually communicating with a human. If I'm hitting someone on hook or something, yes, some people might see that as a toxic action, but it's in game. As soon as I take that out of the game and then it's in the chat, this is when I'm actually talking to a real human. Because there's no proximity chat or anything. You're not talking to people in-game. So it's only in-game actions, you know? Survivors could be teabagging and not meaning it in like a toxic way, but it's going to be interpreted a certain way. But as soon as you start chatting shit in end-game chat, that's when it's real life. So there's a fine line that people, I think, don't really seem to understand. Like, the touch grass comment is very relevant here. Like, touch grass.
Yeah, exactly.
It's real life.
Honestly, like I'm kind of happy they don't have like a push to talk in game. Like I would be banned so quick. Like I would be so cocky, and the killer would hear it as well.
I mean, like, I hate that in Valorant. I end up muting everybody. The amount of arguments I've got in with teammates by playing Valorant. Holy shit, dude. Nearly every game, I have someone in my team chatting shit to me. Because I don't play the game that much. Like, I normally play it for fun, to have a break from DBD. Like, I like first-person shooters. I'm not very good on keyboard and mouse, so I'm not very good at Valorant. And then to have someone from your own team being a dickhead. And it's like, I'm arguing with people that are meant to be on my side. Like, so I'm so glad they don't have a talk feature in DBD. I would just end up muting everybody at the start of the game. I would pause the game, mute everybody so I can't hear anybody, and then just carry on playing. Like, there's no need for that feature in this game. It's toxic enough in end-game chat without having to push to talk. But yeah, but that was a very relevant guide, I think, to the kind of the way the game's going at the moment. Everyone's worried about, oh, you've ruined my fun, and it's like, you know, just get over it.
Yeah,
just get over it.
I was going through like the Steam guides, right? And I saw this one, and I was like, this kind of reflects like how it goes in Dead by Daylight really well, and also like what I've been noticing and receiving lately, like especially when I'm doing that challenge, like, and you know that as well. Like you have only one perk, so you are definitely going to switch your playstyle than what you normally would play like. So you're gonna play more dirty. You're gonna play more sweaty because you only have one perk. So you need to adapt with that.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
a lot of survivors don't like that, and especially when like the survivors think the games are getting harder, they either are gonna kill themselves, they are gonna DC,
Yeah.
they are gonna ruin the game for others. So for their own teammates. So like if they DC or kill themselves on hook, like that's fine with me as a killer. Like I don't mind
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
helping
Easy,
me. So
easy. Yeah.
but like it's so ridiculous. Like lately, so like I saw this one and I was like, okay, I need this one. I'm gonna take this one. This is a really nice one, a good one to throw in there and like see how people react on it. You know?
Yeah, I've had a lot of DCs recently, actually, with this challenge. Just literally tunneling, because you have to, because the gens are flying. I even had a game where all the gens were done in like 4 minutes, and I'll actually be posting a YouTube video about that. I literally just made it. But it's crazy, like, no gen defense, survivors moaning, but then everyone's running prove thyself. Like, the gen speeds aren't an issue if everyone's fucking running prove thyself. It's just absolutely insane. But yeah, people just need to accept each game as it is, GG, and then just move on. And I think DBD would be a lot better place for it, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Okay,
So
then
what we've got next, is it Shrine, is it?
yeah, then we have the Shrine of Secrets. As always, 2 survivor, 2 killer perks. Uh, do you wanna start, Mike?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to grab one of my favorite Survivor perks that I love as Survivor, and one of my least favorite Survivor perks when I'm playing as Killer. And I think most people will know what this is. It's Boil Over, which is obviously a Kate Denson perk. So basically, I think most people know what this does already, but while you're being carried by the killer, it increases the intensity of the struggle effects and your wiggling progress, and it actually makes the struggle 80% stronger when you're on the killer's shoulder. It also, a lot of people miss this, it obscures the auras of all hooks that are close within a 16-meter radius. So if the killer doesn't know that there's a hook around the corner from like the wall you've gone down, or from, you know, the roof that you've decided to go down on, the upper levels, it can lead to some really clutch saves because you can wiggle off, which as Survivor is great, but as Killer is really, really fucking annoying. And it actually fills your wiggle meter by 33% of your current progress if you land from a height. So if the killer's carrying you, as I said, if you're like on a not on a roof, but if you're on like an upper level, say like Macmillan, you're on the top floor, and the killer decides to drop because they think it's quicker, you actually get 33% of whatever your current wiggle progression is when you land. So this used to be a lot stronger. It still can come in really clutch, but the wiggle percentage, I think, was it 50% when you dropped?
Yeah, but
Was
like
that?
it was now it was 25%, but it was like an instant. So every time you drop down, you got like
That
25%
was it.
wiggle progress.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So
It's
they
kind
are.
of vested.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. So yeah, I mean, this is, again, as I said, one of my favorite perks to run as Survivor, because it can really help you out, especially if you're playing solos, and even more so if you're playing in a Swift. But if you're playing solos, this can actually help you if you're being tunneled and things like that. If you go down in a good spot on certain maps, you can normally almost sometimes guarantee that you're going to get off. When you're playing as Killer as well, it can be really annoying. You're playing against Swift, you pick up the guy who's got Boil Over, and they're going to sabo the hook, so you know for a fact you're not going to get to the next hook, which means you either have to let them wiggle off or drop them. I honestly think it's a pretty solid perk. It's not as consistent as it used to be. I kind of want to score it a 6 out of 10. I'm interested to hear what you think, Mitchell.
Okay. But honestly, I was thinking about like a 7 out of 10. Like it can help a lot. Like you can deny the killer's vision of hooks as well with it.
Yeah.
Uh, and like even though if you play solo, like sometimes still solo teammates are gonna try and body block and all that kind of stuff. And
That's true.
especially if you are in a Swift, like you're gonna shallow hooks, you're gonna body block, you're gonna take hits and all that kind of stuff. So like you can actually do like get a lot of pressure on the killer with just this perk, and
Very
especially
true.
if you're like in like an elevated area, or even if in like the Freddy's map downstairs in like the school,
Yeah.
and there's no basement there, what you can actually manage throughout like offerings that it's not going to be there, then like that can be strong as well, because like you are wiggling so strong, like it's actually kind of difficult to like navigate right as a killer, especially if you have like close walls and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think
like it's a
seven's good.
pretty
Yeah.
decent perk. Like it's also like kind of a troll perk in a way, but like if you wanna kind of have fun as survivor and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like it's decent. So I would say 7 out of 10 though.
Okay. Yeah, I think you've you hit the nail on the head. I was torn between 6 and 7. But I think 7 out of 10 is good. I mean, on certain maps in certain areas, I know for a fact that this is a 10 out of 10. Like, there's certain maps where I've exploited the crap out of this, and I've been like almost unhookable, and they've ended up having to slug me. So, it can waste a lot of time as well, even if you don't
Yep.
potentially actually wiggle off all the time. Just the fact that you're slowing the killer down and getting to a hook can be really, really good for the rest of the team. So yeah, I agree with you. I was torn between 6 and 7, and I think I'll concede that seven's an accurate score for that. The killer perk that I have is Coup de Gras, which is a twins perk. So basically, every time a generator is completed, the perk grows in power, and you gain a token for every completed gen. What this token then does, it increases the distance of your next lunge attack by up to 80% at tier 3. Now, I think a lot of people sleep on this perk, and I've seen it pop up a lot recently in True Talent and Otsdava YouTube videos, where they are actually getting quite a lot of value from this, and this can be really clutch. If you're like chasing someone who's really good at looping, and they're just that fraction step ahead of you, and they're going to get to that window, and you were like, oh, damn, if I only had like a little bit extra on my lunge, I probably would have hit them. This gives you that extra bit on your lunge, so you can make really clutch hits with this perk. Although the downside is it does require gens being done. But if you play as killer, you know that gens are going to get done regardless. So it's not terrible. And in the same instance, then it's not great. You don't see it that often. I personally don't run it because there's just other perks I would prefer to run that I think are stronger in different areas. But yeah, I don't know. I think I want to hit this with a 5 out of 10, just because I think it's a very okay middle of the road perk. If you've got other perks backing up like gen defense or end game, whatever else, then this can be, a fun perk to run in the middle of the match, because it gets stronger as the game goes on. But then you've got other things that help you with attacks like save the best for last, which I would argue stronger. So I think I'm going to give it a nice solid 5, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay, interesting. Well, I was more thinking about like what it actually can do, right? So like you get a token for every gen that gets completed, so you can get a maximum of 5 tokens.
Yeah.
After that, you don't have any tokens that you can gain. So like then the perk kind of dies if you have used all your tokens. But like you get an extended lunge if you have a token and you use it. But like every time you lunge, it's gonna be further than it used to be. So then you will use a token.
Yeah, you don't
But
actually get to keep the token if you miss an attack. That's kind of one of the weak
exactly,
points, yeah.
like that's one of the downfalls as well. Like sometimes you don't make the attack, and then it's still like, for example, you get like 360 or something, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
then you use a token, so that token is permanently gone, and then you don't get value out of the perk.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like I was more thinking about like 4 out of 10,
Okay,
because
that's fair.
you can still get some value out of it. Like for example, like if you like know they are gonna fault, or like a pallet or a window, like they are stuck in animation, so they can't do anything. So then you can like for sure like guarantee that hit with this perk if you normally would be like just off.
Yeah.
But like the risk of like missing a hit and then it consumes the token, like that's still always gonna be there.
Yeah,
So
that's very true.
Yeah,
True, true.
I was thinking about like a 4 out of 10 with this one.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay. And what perks have you got?
So I got Solidarity
Okay.
and Jane Romero perk. When injured, healing another survivor without using a medkit also heals you with a conversion rate of 50% at tier 3. Uh, Honestly, you almost don't see this perk.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, never.
most of the time, yeah, you just use a medkit or you get like a boon going or something, or you just get healed straight away when you get saved. So
Hmm.
like to kind of use this perk, like there are way much more better perks than this one. So I would say like maybe I'm too nice, but I would say like maybe a 4 out of 10. Like you don't get much value out of this. Like it sounds really nice,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you can't use a medkit. If you use a medkit, it doesn't work with the perk, so then it's already like
Yeah.
useless.
I
And
mean,
then like
if you had it with like renewal, is renewal the right one where you get 50% when you get unhooked, you're already 50% healed? And then if the person who's saved you is injured, you heal them first. You would be 100% healed pretty quick, but that's relying on other perks, so I think that makes it
yeah,
quite weak
exactly.
in a solo sense. Because we try and obviously judge and rate these perks as standalone, right? Even though we do talk about comparing them and having them in builds. So yeah, I think I agree with you on the score because on its own, say if we were doing the one perk challenge with this, it's kind of trashy. You're saving a little bit of time, but that is kind of negligible, right? It's not. It's not going to be groundbreaking or game changing. So yeah, I think I agree with your score on that one, dude.
And then my killer perk is gonna be Mad Grit from the Legion. Kind of a troll perk, like if you use it like certain other perks, like it can be kind of fun to do sometimes.
Yeah,
While carrying a survivor, you suffer no cooldown on missed attacks. So, successfully hitting a survivor will pass the carried survivor's wiggling progression by 4 seconds at tier 3. So yeah, obviously, like a really troll perk. You don't see this perk often. When you do, like you mostly see it with like Iron Grasp, Starstruck perks like that. Agitation as well. Uh, but yeah, but just the perk by itself, like I would say like a 3 out of 10. Like
mm,
if you use like the other perks with it, I would say like probably like a 6 out of 10. But just the perk by itself, like you don't get that much value out of it in most games. Uh,
yeah.
like
It's weak on its own, right?
yeah, it's kind of weak. So I would say 3 out of 10 with this one.
Yeah, I think you've covered that one in its entirety. I completely agree. It needs other perks again, a bit like Solidarity, to really be of any sort of impact. And I mean, I guess if you've got a Swift that are trying to body block and they don't know you've got this, and you could just hammer away, it could probably be quite good. But then Save the Best for Last does a very similar thing and is better for you because it affects you full game rather than this only affects you when you're carrying someone. So yeah, I think I agree with you again, dude. That's it's a weak perk.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, honestly.
A little bit, yeah. Cool. So I think that leaves us then with our last segment, which is the streamer of the week.
Yes,
Right, we haven't
yes.
missed anything. Okay, cool. So our streamer of the week is a streamer by the name of Sierra the Sloth, and she is a young 25-year-old DBD streamer. She's really nice, really wholesome. I mean, we're probably repeating ourselves each week because everyone we feature is super nice and super wholesome. But yeah, it's another one that you should definitely go and check out. Her name is apt because it's her favorite animal, which is the sloth, and it's kind of a nice alliteration, Sierra the Sloth. But yeah, she loves playing DBD. She loves making new friends. Her community is always really welcoming. She's been in my stream. I've been in her stream. She's really nice. And yeah, I would definitely recommend going to check her out. I was just having a look to see if she's got a schedule, just to see if I could try and let you guys know when she's on. But her schedule seems to be a little bit of a mixed bag. So looks like Mondays and Thursdays and around 2 p.m. CST, I believe. So, but yeah, definitely go and check her out. Sierra the Sloth. And you can find her on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, and TikTok as well if you want to see some of her clips. She's always posting on there. But yeah, just again, another wholesome streamer that we're bringing to you each and every week. They're always wholesome. They're always nice. We're not going to send you to anyone horrible.
Like always, like chill vibes as well.
Very chill vibes. Very chill vibes.
Like really chill. And indeed, she posts on Instagram as well. But she always posts her schedule for the entire week on Instagram as well, by the way.
Yes, that's a very good point. I had forgotten that. Yeah, she does update her schedule through social media. So something I need to be better at, actually. I know I stream pretty much the same time all the time, but I think advertising it on Instagram's really good for the community. They could doubly make sure that you're going to be live, So yeah, that's definitely something she's very good at. She's good at communicating with the community, and she's a lovely person, just in general. Very humble, very wholesome. And yeah, I'd definitely go and check her out. But I think that's everything from us this week. We're a slightly longer one today. This is our longest podcast to date. So I hope you enjoyed our back and forth, our debates and our ideas. But let us know in the comments anything that you've got to say on any of the topics we discussed, any questions you may have. Have I missed anything, Mitchell?
We need to talk about our progress of our challenge.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. So, for those who are new, we still have a challenge going until the 19th of December, where we play with one perk on both sides. For me, it's light on Survivor and save the best for last on Killer. I'm keeping track of everything I do in the games. We use the challenge during our streams. Off stream we don't, because we don't want to lose our entire sanity. So yeah, I've won 22 games with Survivor and I've lost 28 games. Like I've made yesterday was for me the first day out of all my streaming days that I did this challenge that I actually was thinking about that I had bots for teammates. Like it was actually ridiculous. Like I lost like 6 games in a row.
Wow.
Where I usually like at least win like 3 out of the 7 games I usually play.
Yeah.
With Survivor during my stream.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And like on my killer side, honestly not going really bad. Like I'm not gonna lie. I've played 73 games in total. I've won 43 games and I've lost 13 games. For those who are thinking, Mitchell, those numbers don't add up. That's correct because we only look at the losses and the wins. And obviously you can still draw as a killer, so those games are just not existing in the scores, but I will still keep track of them throughout the entire challenge so I know how many games I played in total.
I haven't actually been keeping track of my draws, to be honest. Just because we're doing the wins and losses, I was like, it's easier for me just to do that. But yeah, my Survivor scores aren't too much different to yours. I'm currently on 25 wins and 23 losses, so 25 escapes and 23 deaths. So I'm still in the plus, and that is just using self-care, which I'm still regretting massively. So that's my win to loss ratio. So I'm still in the green, which is good. But it's only by 2 games, which isn't much. That could easily change in my next stream. And just using Noed as killer, I'm doing pretty fucking well, actually, even if I do say so myself. 27 wins and 4 losses. And I think I've had 4 draws off the top of my head. But yeah, 27 wins, 4 losses, just running Noed. So...
Dude, I've played so many more killing games.
Yeah, you have, yeah. I've been trying to split my time. I need to play some more killer games. I've only just got through every killer because we said we were going to play every killer at least once. So I've only
Yes.
recently just done that. So I need to put in some more killer games. I think I might do a full killer stream on Monday, which will probably severely impact my score, but I'm sweating my balls off. I'm playing like an absolute dickhead, tunneling, camping, and just super sweats just to try and get my score as good as it can be, because I've got more control in the killer games than I have in the survivor games, I feel. As you just said, Mitchell, I feel like we're playing with bots half the time. And my last 2 streams playing a survivor, I think I've only managed to win 3 games in 2 streams. So, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. There's a lot of external factors when you're playing a survivor that are out of your control. At least with killer, you can try your best to control some of the elements, but not doing too bad. But I guess we'll see how next week goes, and we'll have to update you again.
It's a small difference, though.
Yes,
just a tiny. Because obviously we are in each other's streams when we do this kind of stuff.
Yes.
All my survivor games are solo, though.
And that is true. Yeah, that is true. But I will.
Not every game of yours is solo.
This is true.
That's a small thing.
But something I did note was when I first did play with followers for this challenge, I was actually doing a lot better as survivor with the randoms. And when I had people from my stream come in and play with me, I think I died about 6 games in a row. So it didn't actually help me at all playing with followers, which is, I didn't do it to cheat, but I did kind of think, oh, this might help.
It's not cheating.
I did think it might help,
just a small detail.
It actually fucked me up. So my numbers are skewed, but not in a positive way, because of playing with followers, I think I actually screwed myself up more by doing that, which I kind of wish I hadn't now. But I was probably going to lose more games than I've won anyway. I'm kind of surprised I'm still in the win column for Survivor, but that'll probably soon change. But I will be playing more killer games, so maybe I'll be a bit more cagey about playing Survivor games for the. We got what, 2 more weeks of this? Is that right, or is it 1 more week?
10 days.
10 days. So yeah, yes. I mean, in that 10 days, I'm probably going to stream 6 times.
That's no, you are going to stream 4. Because it ends on Monday.
Oh,
that's
right.
Will be your stream, last stream day for this challenge.
Okay, 4.
And for me, I have 6 days.
Okay. So yeah, your numbers could easily get a lot worse than mine then if I'm only doing 4 days.
I'll try. My survivor numbers are already really bad, dude.
I'll try and stream a little bit longer, because this week I had some short stuff because I had stuff to sort out because I'm moving house, so they weren't the longer streams that I'm normally used to doing. So I'll try and add extra hours onto the streams coming up just so I can get my numbers closer to yours. But yeah, I guess we'll have to keep everybody updated next week in next week's episode.
Yes.
Lovely. Well, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
The only thing I have left is, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. And I wish you a blessed rest of your day.
Awesome. Everybody stay groovy. Peace.